Good evening, dear children. Welcome back to an interesting session of our English class. How are you all? Hope you all are going well. Students, always be happy. Okay, it will give you positive energy in your life. Do you remember an activity that I have given you in the previous class? What was that activity? Can you tell me? Yes, you were asked to write what the characters are doing by looking at the picture and the hints given in brackets. So, students, did you write that activity? All of you. Good. So, let's discuss that activity. So, all of you take page number 22.
First of all of you read the question carefully. Look at the illustrations from this story. What are the characters doing here? Here, you have to connect the picture and the hints given in brackets. Then you can easily identify what the characters are doing here. So look at the first picture. What was the grandfather doing here? Grandfather is picking the flowers. Look at the second picture. What is Raja doing here? Raja is shaking the tree. Raja is shaking the tree. Now all of you look the third picture. Here Raja is laughing at his grandfather. Once more. Raja is laughing at his grandfather. Then what about fourth one? What is the grandfather doing here? Yes, grandfather is praying to God. Once more. Grandfather is praying to God. Then look at the fifth picture. What is Raja doing here? Raja is hiding in the loft of the cowshed. What is Raja doing here? Raja is hiding in the loft of the cowshed. So students, I hope you all did the correct answer. Students, I know that you all are eagerly waiting to know what happened to Raja at the end of the story. Am I right? Before that, let's go through the major events in Raja's life that we came across in the previous classes. So, shall we rewind that once more? So, all of you listen carefully. Event 1. Raja's grandfather was picking jasmine flowers from the jasmine bush. At that time, Raja shakes the sandalwood tree. Raindrops shower on him and his grandfather. Event 2. Grandfather gets angry and runs after Raja. He stumbles and falls. Event 3. Raja hides in the loft of the cowshed. He observes everything happening at home. Event 4. People make various comments about Raja's disappearance. Grandfather gets angry with the people gathered there and asks them to search for Raja. Now, shall we know what happened in Raja's life and whether they found Raja? Okay, let's know about that. So, all of you take your English text and take page number 17. I'm going to read this paragraph. All of you listen carefully. At that moment, Uncle returned. He learned what was happening at home. He looked around and guessed where I was. He came to the cowshed and asked me to come down. I came down. Uncle took me into the house. Grandfather had just finished his prayer and turned. As he opened his eyes, he saw me standing before him. He took me up in his arms in joy, hugged me, and said, God heard my prayers and has given you back to us. So, students, who came there at that moment? Yes, very good. Raja's uncle came there at that moment. So Raja's uncle came back and he understood what all things happened at his home. Then Raja's uncle searched Raja and he guessed and went to the cowshed. Did Raja's uncle see Raja there? Yes, there he could see Raja sitting on the loft. Where was Raja sitting? Yes, Raja was sitting on the loft. He asked Raja to come down. By hearing that, what did Raja do? Yes, Raja came down and Raja's uncle took him to the house. In the previous class, we saw that Raja's grandfather was praying for his grandson, Raja. So, what happened here? Yes, when Raja's grandfather finished his prayer and opened his eyes, he could see whom? Yes, he could see his grandson, Raja, standing before him. What a surprise! Right. Then what was the reaction of Raja's grandfather? Yes, very good. He couldn't hide his happiness, right? How Raja's grandfather expressed his happiness? He took Raja up in his arms in happiness and hugged him. Then what did he say? God heard my prayers and has given you back to us. Thereby, Raja appeared before them and the family became very happy. Students, I want to ask you a question. What would Raja say to his grandfather when he returned home? Yes, some of you are telling the right answer. Raja would say sorry to grandfather when he returned to home. So, students, did you understand this paragraph? Yes, hope you all understood this paragraph. So, shall we move to some new words and the meanings? Here, learned is the past tense of learn. What do you mean by learn? To study. Guessed is the past tense of guess. Then, what do you mean by guess? To try and give an answer or make a judgment without being sure. Joy, a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Hugged is the past tense of hug. Hug means to put your arms around a person and hold him tightly to show that you love them. So, students, let's conclude Raja's story by having a look into the major events in the story Life with Grandfather. Are you ready? Let's start reading it. Event 1. Raja's grandfather was picking jasmine flowers from the jasmine bush. At that time, Raja shakes the sandalwood tree. Raindrops shower on him and his grandfather. Event 2. Grandfather gets angry and runs after Raja. He stumbles and falls. Event 3. Raja hides in the loft of the cowshed. He observes everything happening at home. Event 4. People make various comments about Raja's disappearance. Grandfather gets angry with the people gathered there and asks them to search for Raja. Event 5. Grandfather prays to God. When he opens his eyes, he sees Raja in front of him. Raja's uncle had found him hiding in the loft. Students, are you ready to do an activity? So, all of you take page number 20. Did you see an activity here? Yes, activity 2. Let's read the question given in this activity. Look at the pictures given below and fill in the box suitably. Now, all of you look at the first picture. Here, Raja is shaking the sandalwood tree. At that time, what did the grandfather say? Yes, hey, crazy boy, I will teach you a lesson. At that time, what would Raja say? Students, you just imagine and write it in the box. Likewise, you have to write the rest of it. Students, Hope you all enjoyed the story of Raja. Am I right? Yes. So, all of you complete your notes and write the activity. And we will meet in the next class with a new lesson. So, thank you, dear students.